Alright, this is Dogmath, and we are here for another Divinity A Original Sin character build. So I was asked to do one for a Shadowblade. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Shadowblade. So a Shadowblade is a type of rogue. They kind of use spells. Those spells aren't really used as far as damage goes. Those spells are kind of primarily going to be used for helping you do your rogue things better. So it's not really a caster so much as it's a self-amended rogue. So we're going to take our Shadowblade default there, and then we can take a fighter as my secondary just to kind of have someone there to kind of be in the front line doing some knockdowns and things like that. Because you really do want to pair any kind of roguey type character with someone who's going to be able to get in there on that front line, do those knockdowns, and take that damage for you. So I'll split that kind of as is, and we're going to go up here for our Shadowblade. Alright, so customizing, take everything out here. So attribute-wise, I want to go 8 dex and 7 speed just to kind of start off. The two things that are going to maximize my damage are going to be dexterity and speed. I'm going to put 8 into dex to kind of start off because I want all of my scoundrel abilities to have a 100% chance to go off. You could just say we'll just put the 8 speed first and you can up that dex as we go. But what I always find is that 10% chance of your spell failing always happens at the worst possible time. So just to avoid that early on, I go with putting the 8 into my dex there. But we will be doing our speed as our primary. That's going to be where your focus is from this point on. So looking at our abilities, we're going to have 1 point in dual wielding already. That's great. Nasty Deeds, you don't want to use sneaking. It's nerfed so much, it's not really worth it anymore. And then skills, it's going to start off with Arrow Mage and Scoundrel. That's great. I'm going to take it off of Witchcraft though. Witchcraft would be kind of a good additional one, but you need to put points into Int for it. And you need to put so many points in Int to make it really all that worth it that I typically say you're going to be better off with Dex and Speed. Save that Witchcraft point or two for a kind of castery type person who's already going to be putting points into Int. Right? So Scoundrel is where we're going to be putting most of our kind of points after dual wielding. But that's where we're going to be using most of our A abilities and stuff. It's a really good tree for any kind of a rogue. The Arrow Mage is where we're going to be getting our kind of a Shadow Blade kind of parts. And that's the kind of spells that are going to be helping us out. Dual wielding is the first thing you always want to max out with any dual wielding type of character though, because it lowers the action point penalty for dual wielding, and it also lowers the damage penalty for dual wielding. So you definitely want to be putting a lot of points into that early on, because the big thing that makes dual wielding hard at early levels is all of your action points get kind of burned with that penalty. So you want to get rid of that as fast as possible. All right, so how about our talents? So our talents for take is always Backstabber for any rogue. Rogues aren't necessarily the best class in Enhanced A Edition because they got nerfed pretty darn bad from the A original where they were overpowered. But Backstabber is what makes rogues fun and why I would play it. Right? It ups your damage, it gives you that like crit. Leech, I'm not going to take Leech. Relying on stuff being able to bleed or there being blood is really a situational thing, and those points are going to be a lot better in things that are a lot more kind of guaranteed, like Bully. Again, Bully is not guaranteed. There's stuff which can't be knocked down, but most things can, or they can at least be slowed. So Bully is a really great thing, just kind of ups that damage even more. So you want that other character in your party to be up there doing those slows, those knockdowns, to make your Bully trigger so that you can really unload with your rogue. And then the second thing that I would say is your first point you want to take is going to be Stench. because you want your rogue to not be the target if there's an option. It's not going to guarantee your rogue's never going to be a target, but it'll kind of say, well, if it's a 50-50 chance out of the options, they're typically going to go for the non-rogue there. So it can kind of save you from taking as much damage as often. Alright, so taking a look at what we're going to be taking. First one, Walk in Shadows. Definitely want to be taking that. It's a great spell in combat and out of combat. It gets you through a lot of dangerous places, lets you steal everything you could ever want, and have as much gold as you could ever want. It's also a great, oh crap, my rogue is out of position, I need to go in bids to not die. Great thing to use there as well. The Lacerate and Precise Indecision, those are great. You can pick them up, but I would be going for that after you get to a town. So don't take them as your start, but you will pick those up pretty early, and they're not too expensive either. And if you don't have the gold, use Walk in Shadows to steal all the gold to buy all the books you want. So then our other one that we're going to be taking is going to be Fast Track. Fast Track I love for every character. It's one of the main reasons why you would ever take Scoundrel on a non-rogue is for Fast Track. Same with Walk in Shadows. Especially for a rogue where you need to be moving around to get behind people as much as possible. Having that haste really, really helps out. And Thunder Jump, which already defaults us to, is what we're also going to be taking. So Thunder Jump is a spell that kind of fits what a Shadowblade wants to do. They want to use those spells to help them do rogue things better. So a rogue needs to be behind people. And a big downside is they spend a lot of time trying to move behind people. So Thunder Jump will actually damage those people, possibly stun them, and you will end up behind them. You can't always predict where you're going to end up perfectly, but you'll end up behind someone, or at least near the people that you were going for. So, other big thing, it's guaranteed to do what it needs to do. The penalty for having no int bonus is that our stun chance is lowered. So that's why it's still going to be a beneficial thing for us. Other things like Shocking Touch, it'll still always hit, do a very small amount of damage with a better stun chance, but we're not using these spells for a stun chance. We are using them for kind of to help us get in there better. Shocking Touch, I would say buy it when you get into town, but not one that you're going to want to use right off the bat. Teleportation is another great one. It's a great utility. I'm not going to take it really early though because it costs so much, and that's almost all of my action points just to do that. And then Bitter Cold, a lot like Shocking Touch, but you would use that just for the frozen. Again, we want to be focusing more on our damage and letting the freezing and the stunning come from someone else. But if you do want to try and do a bit more of that on this character, I'd say, hey, put a few points end to end to make that chance a lot higher so that you can freeze and then go and try and hit them. All right, so there's our kind of build that we're going to be going with. So let's go ahead and take this out and give her a whirl. So one of my favorite games to play when I am doing these quick little builds is the how off is the portrait from the actual model. Alright, so we have our redhead. Her portrait is a person with an afro. And then our short brown haired guy is a guy with face paint and long black hair. Alright, so I've seen worse. Oh, there we go. It's always the same too as far as the default models, but there you go. Alright, so if you know you're going to be going into combat, one option you do have with your rogue is to end them right before you start the combat. I'm not a huge fan of that option, but there are times when it is a good option to use. Because I kind of want to save that in case I get one of those oh crap moments where I need to not take all of that damage. So I'm going to be kind of saving that. her do her little summon here. Bring out her dudes, and then here comes our combat. Alright, so here's the kind of whole point of a Shadowblade. If I try and move behind this nearest guy, it's going to cost me 5 action points. Right? If I want for this guy here, that's 7. That's almost everything that I could possibly do is just to get in position, and then I can't actually stab. Even the 5, it's going to cost me 4 action points to stab down because I have that. I'm not maxed out on my my dual wielding yet. So my other options, well, Thunder Jump takes 5 action points as well. The downside is I'm not going to be guaranteed being in their backstab zone. Even if I just moved there, there's a good chance that they're going to turn in a attack me the very next turn anyway. So what I could do is I could say, well, I'll just go fast track and then I can move faster, move further, but I'm still not going to have the points to actually do any backstabbing right now. But maybe the turn after. So one big benefit is I can use this Thunder Jump to just get to them right off the bat. So let's just go ahead and try that just to kind of show it. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to them. I got a nice stun off, and then I'm behind this guy here. I would have to move over 1 to get actually behind him. Then I'm going to go ahead and fast track. So I'm ready for next turn and all those points. Alright, so my other guy, his job is to knock down. So I want to, oops, sorry. So you're going to run over there, knock some dudes down. Both didn't get knocked down. I guarantee you'll be knocked down here. There we go. I got him. Sweet. Alright. Smacked, stunned. Alright. So the nice thing about Bully and Backstab is they work together. So I am behind him, and he is knocked down. So I get Bully and Backstab bonuses right now. So here, let's go ahead and give this a go. There we go. I did 35 damage with roofs, and that's after some of it was absorbed by his armor. So awesome. So now I kind of want to go down here and backstab this dude. But again, I'm not going to have the points for it. So what I can do is kind of go down there. Get 1 point. No, I can't quite get there. So I'll just go all the way there. Maybe I'll go a little bit. And then I'm just going to say, well, if I just leave it there, he's going to turn in and attack me. So I'll just go invisible for next turn. Again, I wouldn't do that this early on if I knew that this fight would go longer, but I don't think it's going to be all that much longer here. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep whacking some dudes. I'll go and try and attack him. My turn, I'll just go ahead and move over here and then go surprise, backstab. Got him. Another nice thing is when you're invisible, you get that bonus to your hit so that you're going to be hitting them a lot more often. So she's doing quite a bit of damage for us. Alright, so there is our Shadowblade. Again, any kind of rogue class I would not recommend early on. Or sorry, not early on. On your first playthrough. It can be a little bit difficult. I think they're really fun. They're not as good in Enhanced Edition, but they're still fun. If you like rogue classes, try this out. Until next time, this is Dogman, and I'll see you.